Guys, welcome back to this tutorial. One important point I wanted to make here is that I told you in the beginning that list is the collection of elements. It can be a collection of integer, it can be a collection of string, it can be collection of objects, or etc. But you cannot have something like you have created a list of integer and you are trying to add string to it. That is not allowed and it will give you the error. And if you have created a list of string and then you are trying to integer to it, you can't do that. So what we are do here is I'm going ahead and show you what I mean. So let's say if I say I am creating a list of string here, string here, and the name of the list is my list, and I am adding string values, and I'm trying to add the integer as well. And I am adding elements like anything in the single quotes is a string, right? My list dot add hello, and then I'm adding another string here, my list dot add, and call it as cloud parlay, and then I'm trying to go ahead and add another element, my list dot add, and I will say yes, and then now I'm adding three elements. One is hello, the other one is cloud parlay, and the third one is yes. So there are three string present inside of this list. So now let's say if I wanted to go ahead and display my list, so I will say my list has, and then I'll just go ahead and display what are the elements in that list using this. So this will run smoothly. I will go ahead and hit the execute button. Everything will run smoothly. It will display me all the three elements that I have in my list in the order that I have added. Now let's go ahead and see if I try to add an element which is not a string. So let's say I am trying to add a number here. So here I will say 100. Will this work? No, this will not work because I am saying that I am creating a list of string and I am trying to add a number or like integer value here, which is not allowed. So this time, if I try to execute, it is giving me an error and it says integer from the type list string. So what does that mean is you can easily guess what it is saying. It is saying that you are using that the types are incompatible. You are saying that it's a collection of string and you are trying to put the integer value in it. So that's why it is not allowed. Similarly, if I go ahead and create a list of integer and I will say my list, and this time I will provide new list integer, and I will go ahead and add numbers to it. because this is a list of integers. I'm telling that, okay, my list is only contain numbers. So the numbers that I'm going to add is, let's say, 100. Then I'm going to add another one, let's say 50. Then I'm going ahead and add another number called 500. And then I'm going to add another one. And then I'm going ahead and display my list. My list has, and then I'm going ahead and display all the elements inside of my list. So I am just adding all the numbers here. So I have to use the add method. I said that my list dot add. So now I have added 4 elements in my list, and all of these elements are of same type, and my list is also of integer type, and the elements that I am adding, that is also of integer type. So there is no error right now. So what will happen is I go ahead and hit the execute button. It will run smoothly without giving me any error. And if I go ahead and go to debug only section, it will display all the elements that I have added in the order which I have added. So now if I go back here and try to go ahead and add a string, that is not allowed. That's going to give me an error. So if I go ahead and try to add anything, a string is something which is in the single quote. It can be even something like this. So if I try to go ahead and add this at this point of time, it's going to tell me the error. It also mentions which line number. It says at line number 6, there is an error that method does not exist or incorrect signature. You are trying to use two different types and you are saying that it's a collection of integer and you are using a string in it. So at line number 6, exactly it will tell you which line is falling an error. At line number 6, and the error is because you are specifying that your list is of integer type and you are trying to use a string value in it. And that's why it gave you an error. So now if you run without the line, or if you go ahead and comment out that line, or you can remove that line, then this particular program will run smoothly. So these are the common mistakes people or developers do. So just keep in mind, just remember what is the type of that list you are creating and what type of elements you are adding to that list. So if you are creating a list of string, you can only add string to it. If you are trying to create a list of integer, you can only add integer to it. If you are trying to create a list of objects, you can only add those objects to it. Okay. So this is the difference between a list, or this is the tutorial about how to debug the incompatible error. So let's meet in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.